pretty quick as soon as we get all settled.
They're all in the compost pile now. Set that down.
All right, well, happy Easter, everybody. It is good to be here with you all. I'm Chris up here, and the band and I are excited to be making some music with and for you. As you're getting settled, coming in from the great outdoors or from pancakes or whatever, I'd encourage you to let yourself get settled and sing along here. We're cultivating a little bit of wonder and awe, and so this first one's called I'm Amazed. I'm amazed at the quiet ocean. I'm amazed at your wrong devotion. I'm amazed at what the people saying. I'm amazed by a divided nation. The rhythm of the earth. I get disrupted. I'm amazed, all that has been. I'm amazed, all who'll be. I'm amazed at the TV stations. I'm amazed, but they want me to believe. After all is said and done, where is the justice? You guys want to stand up here? That'd be great. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. I'm amazed at the lack of evolution. I'm amazed at the lack of faith. I'm amazed at the love we rejected. I'm amazed when we accept in its place. As the rhythm Well, once again, just glad you're here. Yeah, like I said, we're cultivating some wonder and awe, and maybe it felt a little mysterious how you ended up here today, but I hope that this place and these people are just what you need this morning. So we're going to sing another one. This is called Mysterious Ways. Johnny, take a walk with your sister the moon. Let a pale light in to fill up the room. You've been living underground, eating from a can. You've been running away from what you don't understand. Look, she's slipping, sliding down. She'll be there when you hit the ground. It's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh. You guys know this one? Johnny, take a dive with your sister in the rain. Let her talk about the things you can't explain. To touch is to heal, to hurt is to steal. If you wanna kiss the sky, better learn how to kneel on your knees, boy. She's the way she turns the tide. She sees the man inside the child. It's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, alright. Lift my days, light up my nights. Oh. One day you'll look back and you'll see where you were held down by this love line. You can stand there and not move on this moment. Follow this feeling. It's alright, it's alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh, it's alright. Alright, alright. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, alright. See the spirit, spirit moves in mysterious ways. Oh. All right, thanks so much. Go ahead and have a seat, please.
Oh, we got it? We got it. That's good. We're on. Good morning. I gotta admit, I kind of thought of that song as my entrance music. All right, so welcome to Fabric Easter. We're so glad you're here. I'm Melissa Locke, And I brought this bag up because it reminds me of something that I really value about fabric. And these pauses that we get when we come here to this space on Sunday, and the one that I get when I connect with my fabric group in the midweek, where I get reminded that I don't have to pretend that I'm at Aldi. You know how you go there and you don't want to get a cart because you only need a couple things. And so you go and you start grabbing stuff, and then pretty soon your arms are like way too full to hold. You can't hold it all. And I think I spend life kind of like that, like, oh, I got to grip everything and hold on to it all by myself. And these are the reminders that, no, I don't. I can breathe, I can let go, I can let my life be held in a different way. So, welcome to spring. The bugs have also come out, so that's exciting. And just to orient you to this space, some of us came from a fabulous pancake breakfast from over there. Thanks to the youth that put that on. Way to go. That was delicious. Very fun connecting time. Others have been coming in from the parking lot, and I feel like we've still got space. If you see someone looking for a spot to sit, just wave them over if you've got chairs open as people trickle in. And I also want to do a special welcome to people live streaming. Hello, we're so glad you're connecting any which way. We want to be here together in all the ways that we can. So thanks for that technology. We did bring the cafe is here with even some fruit left, water, tea, coffee. Please feel free to get up and help yourself at any time. We're not super formal around here, so feel free to move. And if you need bathrooms, they're out that direction. There are signs for a gender-neutral bathroom as well. The same thing goes for little tiny kids. You are free to move around in here, and if you need some more wiggle room and want to like climb up on one of those little slides, and your parents can take you, go with you, we have the live stream going in a really neat space that we call the Nest, just over that way. So that space is available if you need room to play or even change a diaper, whatever you need. Families know about that. On your way in, hopefully you received a Sunday paper like this. This helps you know what to expect today and what's coming up around here. Inside there, I want to draw your attention to this invitation card. There's some great stuff coming up for all ages. We're about having meaningful, contagious experiences, shared experiences here together that are appropriate for all ages. So in this space, we get a special treat with the Twins of Franklin, musical guests next week. And also, we're starting a big conversation about a dangerous book. Yeah, you can read about that. And you can also read on the back, we've got Old Man Zimmer coming to tell stories next week. And then after that, a mission to Mars begins with the kids. So lots of good stuff coming up. You can also find a communication card. Can you wave that around if you found that in there? Because we really connect this way. People share a lot of stuff. They share feedback, they share prayer concerns, ideas, thoughts, questions, ways they'd maybe like to learn more. So you're free to fill out as much or as little as you want, obviously. But we'd love if you even just put a smiley face or a joke on there this morning. And later, there'll be some white baskets that get passed around, and you can just pop them in there. All right. Also, I bet you, a lot of kids have already found the creation stations, these white tables around. And I see a lot of kids have already started making this kind of thing, something, their own version. I wonder what this is going to be for. I know it has something to do with what we're talking about today. Life begins in the dark. I wonder what that will be. So you're welcome to head to those tables around the room if you want to make one of these, no matter how old you are. And if you're really little and you need an adult to help you cut, I'm sure they will come with you. All right, that's all the announcement things. Before we move on into our experience this morning, the most important thing that's here is you. each one of you. And I want you to just appreciate that you made it. You've shown up. You know, that's what life is really about, right? We're showing up. And along with you came your heart. So can you find your heart beating? Can you find it maybe up here in your carotid artery or in your wrist, in your chest? So no matter how old you are, maybe put down, if you have a little one in your lap, put them right by your heart. See if you can feel that beating heart inside you. And remember, you didn't have to ask that heart to do that beating for you. It is just there for you. And in that same way, there is something that is just here for you as you show up, opening to weaving life a little deeper than we can in our busy goings and comings. So let yourself be here this morning and receive what it is that you need today, and to share what it is that you have to share, including your presence just as you are. May it be so. Thank you. Now it's time to say hello. You can also, if you don't love say hello times, come get some coffee or head to the bathroom. But I encourage you to just shake the hand of someone you haven't met, find out their name, share yours, and just say hi. Keep it simple. All right, thanks, everybody.
Happy Easter to all of you. Good morning. Great to see you all here. Happy Easter. I'm Greg Meyer, and it is whoa, there we go. Yeah. Happy Easter. Greg Meyer. It is fabulous to see all of you here today. Easter is a pretty special time for all of us. I know, we come here for all sorts of reasons, and at least it's special enough to, to get you here today, right? So, and I know some of you are here because of other people's expectations, not your own. Oh, well, that happens, I guess my only hope is that by the time you leave, that you'll say, that was okay. Maybe even a little better than okay, but we'll see, right? Yeah, Easter is a pretty special time, although here in 21st century United States of America, that mostly means, bunnies, chocolate, eggs, and pastel colors, and, life coming back after its long winter retreat. Easter could do worse. At least that life part, that's pretty intrinsic to what Easter means to be about. So I don't know exactly where you are in all this, whether you're a church person or not, whether you know the Bible stories that Easter comes from or not, but basically probably most of you are generally familiar with the fact that Easter comes a couple days after the day where Jesus died, he's crucified, he's hung on a couple of cross-shaped timbers left to die. And then on this day, his followers go and they find the tomb that he'd been left in was empty. And Jesus is alive again. That's something to wrap your head around. I mean, clearly a turning point in the story, and something new, something really important being said about who Jesus is. But, it's reminding us that there is this promise of life, that death is not the last word in all things. Anyway, that is where the story usually goes for most people, right? And kind of like the chocolate Easter bunny in the pastel-colored box, it's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. There's more to it there. So let's go back to this story and not just notice what we expect to hear, but what is actually said in the story. But before we do that, just a quick note. Reading the Bible is tricky. Let me rephrase that. Reading the Bible is very tricky. The Bible was not written by people like us. So if you read the Bible and you're expecting a history book or something like a newspaper report, it's not going to work well, all right? I mean, these are first century Hebrew or Greek thinkers 2,000 years ago. And our standards, what we think about of objectivity for history or the detail to and accuracy for a newspaper report was not on their agenda. They did not share those with us. So what I mean is, if you're reading a Bible story, like this one that you're going to hear in a minute, and what goes through your mind is, did it really happen like that? Or is this really true? You're being distracted from the point. Those writers back there were trying to get a message across. That is where their truth is going to be found. Our fascination with historical objectivity and detailed accuracy, that's ours, and they did not share it, right? So what is the story? What is the message that they were trying to get across? Let's slow down from our hurry to get to that bright and glorious day and listen to what is really said.
Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him."
Then Peter and the other disciple set out and went towards the tomb. The two were running together, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent down to look in and saw the linen wrappings laying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter came, following him, and went into the tomb. He saw the linen wrappings laying there. Then the other disciple also went in, and he saw and believed, for as yet they did not understand the writings, that he must rise from the dead. Then the disciples returned to their homes.
But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white, sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him."
When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? For whom are you looking?"
Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had.
We are so programmed to hear what we expect that we often miss what is said. Did you hear it? That whole story happened in the dark. Either the darkness of the not quite yet dawn or the darkness of it hasn't quite yet dawned on them, right? The followers of Jesus didn't get it yet. Interestingly, this story the story of that morning that we now call Easter, is recorded in all 4 books in the Bible that tells the stories of Jesus' life. We call them the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And there aren't a lot of stories that are in all 4 Gospels. I mean, not even the Christmas story of Jesus' birth. It's only in 2. But this is in all 4. And while the details that they bother to record are varied, one thing that they all have in common is that all happens in the dark. And the people, Jesus' followers, they remain in the dark even after this story. What we are meant to take from this is that being in the dark isn't a character flaw on their part. No, the darkness is part of the message. It isn't bad. The dark is where something is happening that we can't quite see. Life begins in the dark. Now, you may remember that Jesus spent 3 days in the darkness of a tomb. Why? I mean, did he need to do that? Now, remember, these first century writers were not concerned with accuracy on the details, but they're to try to get us a message. And there's something going on here that was important, very important for us to hear and to understand. And what they're trying to tell us is that these 3 days in the darkness of the tomb are pointing at the fact that sometimes becoming takes time. And sometimes the time that becoming takes happens in the dark. Now, maybe you're starting to get a little uncomfortable being in the dark here. We don't usually do that, right? I mean, and it's Easter morning after all. Isn't it supposed to be bright and cheery? But that's a good question. I mean, is it supposed to be bright and cheery right now? I mean, here's my question. Is Easter about being bright and cheery, or is Easter about life and hope? Because they aren't the same thing. I think, and my guess is most of you probably agree with me on this, that Easter is actually about life and hope. And life begins in the dark. And so does hope. And I wonder, do we miss something? Are we missing something really important when we jump too fast to that bright and shiny day? Are we keeping something from being born? You know, what I've noticed is that we as human beings, we tend to share a couple of things. We share a fear of the dark, and we share a love affair with the light. And that isn't always so healthy for us. Today, we want to celebrate life. We want to hold on to that hope, that promise that Easter gives us. But we also want to explore the dark, that side of the Easter story as well. That part of your story as well. Because there's darkness in all of our stories. And we don't do this to deprive you of the light, but to let you have the whole of life, not just the part that is found in the light, but also the part that is found in the dark. So, welcome to the dark.
You've been feeling far away from yourself, like your trembling heart is in a glass on the shelf. You're alone in the dark. You feel like anything could be there, like there's an endless ocean or a bottomless stair. When your belly is a stone, feel like a stranger in your home, or terrified by the freedom you feel, can't quite tell what's real. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark, where it all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. starts in the dark. Have you found yourself bleached in the sun without a hope of finishing what you've begun? Ooh. Helpless heart, calcified, can't move to keep yourself alive. Ooh. In the midst of the room, the blankness of the page, amidst the lonesome forest howls before the blinding light of day. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Where it all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Where it all starts. Starts in the dark. Go back to the place where yourself was alive, the primordial dark when you close your eyes. 'Cause there's a spirit there over the deep, hovering and singing you to sleep. Ooh. Don't be afraid of the darkness inside, that there's nowhere left to hide. 'Cause when it overtakes all you've hardened, you find yourself deep in a garden. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Where it all starts. Starts in the dark. Hard as it might be for everything I've seen, I close my eyes in peace, knowing there's more than it seems, and I'll say, I'll say, I'll say, welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. To the dark. To the dark. Starts into the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts. Starts in the dark.
Well, I have a story about being in the dark. A couple of weeks ago, we were playing a game called Sardines with the Fabric middle schoolers. Now, if you haven't played that game before, it's a little bit like hide and seek, except, well, in reverse, because just one person hides and everyone goes to seek that person. And as soon as they find them, then they hide with that person until everyone has sort of squished in the same space. Now, the other thing about the game Sardines is it's played in the dark. So we're at the Fabric office, which if you haven't been there before, it's in an old church building. So it has the greatest hiding places, lots of nooks and crannies and weird spots in it. So we're playing, and I get to a place, and I'm playing like this. Because I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to step off a cliff at any moment, or maybe I'm going to step on a snake, or maybe someone's going to jump out at me at any minute. But then I had to stop myself and remind myself that I had been in that place many, many times. And there are no cliffs. There has never been any snakes. And to this date, nothing has ever jumped out at me. And until I remembered that, I was petrified and I was missing out on all the great fun stuff that was happening in the dark and in the game. So it's a good reminder to me to always just take a moment and think about what I'm missing when I'm not playing in the dark. So I'm Heidi Esposito, and I want to wish you a happy Easter. And I brought some Eastery things that are undercover right here. I wonder if you can guess what they are. Any ideas? Eggs. You guys are so smart. Yes, I brought along some giant Easter eggs because I think we can peek into those and we can start to get an idea of all the amazing and wondrous things that happen in the dark. So let's start with this one. Oh, it says fragile, so I'm not going to even shake this one. Ooh. Can you see? Yeah, eggs, right? Inside, in the dark, in these eggs, life begins. So if you're a snake or a turtle or a little chick or a duck or a bird, your life starts in the dark in these eggs. All right, that was pretty cool. Bye-bye. Those are fake, too. All right, this one. All right, let's see. Shakes a little bit. Maybe I better not shake this one too hard either. Oh, okay, this is a model too, but pretty cool. Yeah, this is a chrysalis, mysteriously transforming a caterpillar into a butterfly. I mean, all of this happens in the dark where we can't even see it happening, right? I mean, think about it. This caterpillar starts to transform and create a chrysalis around itself. And then I learned that almost the entire caterpillar turns into some oozy goo before it starts the transformation into a butterfly. And all of this happens where we can't even see it. All right, that one was pretty cool too. All right, let's see what's in this one. Well, this one is some leaves, and it says, do not disturb on it. Oops, I have it backwards, sorry. Do not disturb on it. And there's another clue inside that says, shh, baby larva sleeping. Yeah, so these leaves that are left over from the fall are called leaf litter, and they are teeming with life. I mean, microbes are busy working to break things into smaller and smaller pieces so that they can be both consumed and excreted by all kinds of creatures, like wood lice and millipedes and fly larvae, and even moths and butterflies too. And it's also creating an incredibly rich place for your grass and your plants to grow. And all of this is happening, you guys can join me, in the dark. Right. Okay, last one here. Well, I don't know. That's kind of just boring, you guys. It's just some dirt. Nothing really going on too much there. Well, I wonder what it could be. Oh, hey, what do you got there, Jen? Oh, look at this. It's a bulb. And seeds and bulbs have to go underground in the dark to do their work. And if they didn't go in the dark, they wouldn't start to transform and grow these beautiful roots and grow up into good things that we can eat, or maybe something beautiful like this. And the thing about seeds and bulbs that I think are so cool is not only do they have to go in the dark, but they also need the light, right? They need the light from the sunshine in order to grow. So I think it's a good reminder that life begins in the dark and also needs the light too. All right, kids, when you go today, make sure and stop at the welcome table, because you can take home a kit so that you can start growing some seeds in the window and watch them every day grow some roots and maybe grow some shoots. So go ahead and do that. And I just want to end by saying that, well, I normally think about Easter as brightly colored Easter eggs or the sunshine of a spring day. But I think these eggs have helped me remember that life actually begins in the dark.
Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, it's an important reminder for us. You know, we give the dark a bum rap. You know, it's the Bible does the same thing quite often as well, equating darkness with things that are, you know, either dangerous or bad or lacking. And I get it, because, you know, when we're deprived of light, we are also deprived of the main way most of us navigate the world, and that is through our eyesight and so on. And so, you know, when we don't have that, then we're not quite sure what to do. We feel uneasy, and, you know, we get scared. And it's not a big step to go from there to saying, well, things that are dark then are bad. But, you know, that maybe isn't quite right. You know, society has taken this a step further and even applied that idea to people who have dark skin or who have traits that we don't understand and don't know how to deal with and so on. And so we think of them as not as good or something defective about them because of the darkness that we label them with. But while the darkness does require more patience, it requires caution, and it does ask a different set of skills from us. To assume, therefore, that it is bad is to miss the life-giving side of the dark. The Bible also does recognize that life-giving side of the dark quite a bit. In fact, I mean, the very first chapter of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, is this incredible poem about creation, this poem about God's, it paints God's relationship with all things, with the land, with the sun, the moon, the stars, with the seas, with land, with all living things, including us. And in that rhythm of doing that, it doesn't say that God unsuccessfully tried to drive out the dark with the light. No, God makes room for both light and dark. In fact, in that rhythm of day after day after day of creation, at the end of each one it says, and then there was evening and there was morning. There was darkness and there was light. And to which God says, it is good. Or Abraham. Abraham's the father of the three, the three basic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And Abraham, in searching for his destiny, trying to figure it all out, he's Yahweh, I am who I am, God, comes to Abraham at night. And he calls him out of the comfort and the self-created illumination of his home outside into the dark and says, look up, see these stars that you cannot even count? It is in the dark that you will see your future. When we lose the dark, light loses its partner, and life loses half of its presence. So what do we fail to remember about darkness and about light. You know, I think with darkness, first of all, darkness reminds us that there are some things in the world that are uncertain. And that makes us uncomfortable. It's kind of scary, kind of like darkness, right? But really, uncertainty just means that there's something left for you to learn. It means that there is perhaps more than one way to where you're trying to go in life. Uncertainty isn't bad. Uncertainty is the truth of the world that we live in, and yes, it is challenging. We also miss that darkness teaches us that we need each other. In the darkness, we have that urge that tells us we don't want to be alone. And we find that darkness promises rest. It promises quiet. It gives us this space and this reminder that there are other senses that we can use to explore our world. It gives us a place where metamorphosis, where formation, where incubation can happen. And don't forget, darkness is for exploring, isn't it? I mean, darkness is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It is full of mystery and wonder. And face it, the darkness is exciting, isn't it? And then what about light? Light, on the other hand, all right? I mean, other than the obvious, our love affair for light, there's another side to it, isn't there? I mean, too much light is bleaching. It bakes. We can be blinded by the light. We're washed out. We're dried out. And the light can tempt us to be too certain, too absolute in a world that is actually very messy and uncertain. And light gives us the illusion of independence, of thinking, well, I can see it from here. I can do this by myself. I can do it on my own. In light, there can be too much noise, too much distraction, the constant doing of things. And we can overlook the gifts that our other senses want to share with us about the world around us. And Jesus didn't skip to the dark. Jesus' life showed us that there are some things that can only be seen in the dark. And they are beautiful, and they are wonderful. Now, I'm sure your mind has already gone there. You know this isn't only about physical darkness, right? I think there are things that you think of as darkness that are within you, and that's true for all of us. They are neither bad, nor are they to be ignored. If you see those hidden things within yourself as bad, it is probably because you have not learned to live with them. It is probably because you are afraid to greet them and to learn from them. But part of the story of Easter is that those parts of you are not to be forgotten. They are not to be avoided. They are to be included as part of life. So, what if? What if those parts of you that are in the dark aren't there because they are bad, but because something is being born there? A new idea, a new understanding, a new possibility, maybe a new life that's growing from something that had died.
Move your bodies. Maybe it's a moonshot. Maybe it's utopian. Maybe it's never gonna be. Pollyanna, optimism, or maybe we can see. Oh, we are a threefold chord, one, all things and oneness itself. We will not let go, won't break with the weight, 'cause we are woven. Independent, solitary, or maybe we just don't know where to start. We let the fear in and we let the schedule win. Even with the warning of our loneliness, but we are a threefold chord. You sing that out? One, all things in oneness itself, we will not let go. Won't break with the weight, 'cause we are woven. Oh, we are a threefold chord. One, all things in oneness itself. We will not let go. Won't break with the weight. Oh, we are a threefold chord. One, all things in oneness itself. We will not let go. Sing this out. Won't break with the weight, 'cause we are woven. Yeah. Go ahead and have a seat, please. Yeah, thanks.
Believe it. It happened again. I mean, my rocket nightlight blew its bulb again, and I had to sleep in the dark. I hate that when that happens. I mean, there was all these creaky noises, and I couldn't see a thing, and I didn't get any sleep last night. It was so bad. I don't know, does that ever happen to you? I really don't like it when my nightlight goes out, because it's so, oh, hey, look who's here. It's my friend Damos. And, well, he's here visiting because in a couple of weeks, the Fabric Kids are going to Mars and beyond. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, well, actually, we aren't really going to Mars because it takes a long time to train to be an astronaut or a mission commander like me, and, well, then it takes a really long time to get to Mars, too. But we are going to spend 5 weeks exploring some really cool space stuff. And for 5 weeks. And then we also are going to explore what it means to go beyond. We get to go beyond these walls of field school and take what we know and we learn and we gather and go out into the world. And we go beyond our comfort zones too, right? Because, well, we need that. And we can learn how we can go beyond with boldness and kindness and hope and all kinds of cool stuff. So I hope you guys join us back here in a couple weeks, kids, to go to Mars and beyond. He likes the applause. All right. Wait, what were you saying? Oh, yeah. He was wondering why I was walking around ranting and raving like that. Well, Damos, you see, my nightlight went out, and it was dark, and I hate that. So I was just kind of, I was kind of upset about that. Oh, stars and comets. Oh, yeah, and planets. You're right. I need the dark in order to see the stars and the galaxies and the comets, all the things I love, yeah. And, oh, the northern lights, right, guys? Did you catch that? Yeah, the northern lights you see when it's dark outside. And the darker, the better. And boy, have they been gorgeous and beautiful lately. Yep, that's true. And you know what? It's kind of what made me decide I wanted to be an astronaut, was looking at all those cool things. Wait, what did you say? I missed that. Oh, yes. Damos, you're right. Dreams happen in the dark, too. That's a really good point, because dreams are what I love to do. Oh, wait, what do you got in your bag? Oh,
you brought me my favorite book. It is called The Darkest Dark, and it's written by a real astronaut named Chris Hadfield, and it's what started me dreaming about becoming an astronaut too. Kids, I want to share that with you, so why don't you come down to the mats, and it's really important that you bring those stick puppets with you. So bring those down and come down here. Grown-ups, you can watch on the screen. All right. It's okay if you didn't make one, but... Oh, awesome. Come on down. 2, you guys, those are fabulous. We're going to use those in our story. Okay. Well, first of all, do any of you sort of feel like me that, boy, when it's really dark, I feel a little bit afraid? Does that ever happen? Yeah. So this is a story about Chris Hadfield, and he was just like me and was afraid of the dark. Do you want to sit right here? All right. Chris was an astronaut, an important and very busy astronaut. When it was time to take a bath, he told his mother, "Well, I'd love to, but I'm saving the planets from aliens." And he also has a dog named Albert who wants to be an astronaut too. All right, when it was time to get out of the bath and go to bed, he told his father politely, because astronauts are always polite, "Sorry, no can do. I'm on my way to Mars." An astronaut's work is never done, so astronauts do not like to sleep. Do you guys think that's true? No. I wonder if there's something else he's worried about. But astronauts' parents do like to sleep. "You're a big boy now," said Chris's father. "You have to sleep in your own bed." Uh-oh. Oh, and Chris tried. He really did, but his room was very dark. Very, very dark. The kind of dark that attracts the worst sort of aliens. Now, I have an experiment to do here at this part of the book, and this is where you're going to use your sticks. Now, what are some of the things that are on your sticks, you guys? Shout it out. What do you have? Socks, unicorns, footballs. What did you have? An acorn. Now, are any of those things scary? No. But look at what happens at night when shadows occur. All right, so we're gonna make some shadow puppets. There's one for you to hold. And you guys can take turns coming behind the screen and showing people what it looks like to see those shadows. Can I get some kids to come behind? All right. So you can take turns and hold your puppet right up against the, yeah. Okay, that actually looks like a football. All right, let's see some more. Yep, and sometimes, Scout, bring it back a little bit. Sometimes when it starts to get a little distorted, you can't really see what they look like, right? All right, let's give some other kids a turn. If you want to bring your puppet up, oh yeah, see now you can't even see it. Now come a little bit closer. Ooh, they look kind of crazy and wild. We can't really tell what they look like. All right, let's get a couple more, and then if you didn't get a turn, we'll give you another turn in a little bit. All right. Very cool. Did everyone get a chance to see? Yeah, sometimes those things that we see at night look so different once we get a shadow. Oh, we got one more. You want to come? You can come behind. All right, I'm going to... Yeah, sometimes our hands can make shadows too. All right. Like I said, if you didn't get a turn, we'll give you a turn after we finish the book too. All right, well, that's what happened to Chris. He was seeing aliens all over his room. Let's see what happens next. Uh-oh. I think that's it, yeah. But his parents meant it. Chris was going to sleep in his own bed tonight. Parents, raise your hand if you ever felt that. Yep, me too.
His mom and dad checked under his bed and in the closet and even in his underwear drawer. And they declared the room 100% alien-free. They tucked Chris in. They turned on the nightlight. They even gave him a special bell to ring if he was feeling nervous. Clang, 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 clang. Well, they took the bell away. And then his father said something that worried Chris even more than the dark did. "One more peep, young man, and I'm afraid we'll be too tired to go next door tomorrow." Ooh, there must have been something special happening the next day. But tomorrow would be a special day, a very special day. Chris had to go next door. His life pretty much depended on it. So Chris stayed in his own bed. And without a peep, it took a long time to fall asleep, but when he did, he had his very favorite dream. Ooh, what was his dream about? Yeah, he was dreaming that he flew his spaceship all the way to the moon, and Albert even got to come with him. The next day seemed to last forever, but finally, when the moon was shining over the lake and the summer wind was ruffling the leaves of the trees, Chris ran next door. The house was already full of people, all gathered around a TV, the only TV on the whole island. Chris found a special spot where he could see through the crowd, and Albert too. And what he saw were astronauts, real live astronauts, on the actual faraway moon. They were wearing puffy white suits and jumping for joy, and they were jumping so high because there was so much less gravity there. The grown-ups huddled around the TV, and they were amazed. Their whole lives long, they had never expected to see this sight. Even Chris, who had just been to the moon the night before, was also amazed. He never really noticed how dark it was there. Outer space was the darkest dark ever. And then they went outside, and what were they looking at? They were looking at the moon, and there was astronauts on that moon. That night, Chris did a little experiment. He turned off all the lights in his room, even the night light. It was still dark, very, very dark, and there were still shadows that looked a little, well, alien, but nothing had changed. But Chris had changed. He had seen that the darkness of the universe was so much bigger and deeper than the darkness in his room, but he was not afraid. He wanted to explore every corner of the night sky. And for the first time, Chris could see the power and the mystery and the velvety black beauty of the dark. And he realized that you're never really alone there. Your dreams are always with you, just waiting. Big dreams about the kind of person that you want to be. Wonderful dreams about the life you will live. Dreams that actually can come true. So, I have a job for you guys. I want you to think about, what are your dreams? What do they look like? And then I want you to create your dreams by scratching them into this dark paper. Can you do that? Think about maybe what you want to be, or the kind of friend you want to be, or what is possible in the future. All right? So you can take one of these, and maybe, John, you can take a stack and hand some out too. Here you go, Lynn. Okay. All right. And then, on your way back to your seats, make sure and give Damos a high five. He's going to be excited to see you in a couple of weeks. I mean a high 4.
Commander and Deimos, pretty amazing stuff coming up with you guys. Yeah, so there are some baskets underneath some of the rows of seats, and we'd love it if you put your communication cards in there, and really, we do love to hear from you folks, so put a note on there, stuff you're thinking about, prayers that you have, and so on, and also if you, Fabric is a self-sustaining organization, so, and if you want to support us financially, we're always happy with that too. So those can come in there, and maybe after the gathering or during the next song, if you want to just come and bring the basket up here by those candles and flowers or something, that would work great. It seemed to be part of Jesus' message that Easter isn't only found in the light of day and that brightness sets around us, but also in the dark too. In fact, like you've been hearing, that is where life begins. So, how can we be Easter people? I know that's a kind of a real weird, kind of religious-y sounding thing, but what it means is like, how can we be people that are of life and hope? How can we be people of life and hope? Because I think that's not a bad thing to be. Well, first of all, a couple things that come to my mind. Think twice about eliminating the physical darkness around yourself and around your family. Maybe that darkness isn't something to be afraid of, something to come in out of, but rather it's something to go out into. Maybe it's something that we want to have more part of our lives. Definitely, darkness is to be respected, but it's also to be explored. It is a place of wonder and mystery and exploration. And also, I would think twice about ignoring the darkness that is within you as well. I mean, after all, maybe it is just like the darkness around us. Maybe that darkness within you is more to be greeted and to be known than it is to be feared. Something to be amazed by, not afraid of. Last thought. A little quiz here for you all. What is probably the most common phrase that's found in the Bible? Anybody know? Yeah, I've heard a couple people say it already. Do not be afraid. 365 times in the Bible that phrase comes up. It's an interesting number, 365, but we won't go there right now, okay? All right, but 365 times. And who usually says it? An angel, right. An angel says it. An angel, the word for angel just simply means messenger. So there's this celestial messenger coming and saying, do not be afraid. And when does that angel typically come to give the message? At night, when you're sleeping, maybe in a dream, in the dark, right? So here's where I'm going with that. Over and over and over and over and again in the Bible, we get this message that comes to us when we are in the dark, and that message does not say, come into the light. That message says, do not be afraid, because life begins in the dark.
Does love have an open door? Welcome, stranger, give us your tired and poor. All those in need, oh dreamer, teach us to dream again. Oh, children, we wanna see again.
Stand up.
Oh, what a beautiful world, what a beautiful world. Oh, what a beautiful world, what a beautiful world. Come every weary soul, find your haven. Liberty is for all who can breathe melody. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Does the cost of security bankrupt our humanity? Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Does love have an open door? 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 Love have an open door?
Oh, thank you so much. So, the message of Easter, I bet you've got it, is really, about light and dark. It's not about light rather than dark. No, it's, life begins in the dark and then it continues in the light. And we need both parts. We can't have light without the dark. And our job as Fabric, our role at Fabric is to help all of us, each and every one of us, live night and day. And we do that best when we do it together. So, thank you for being here, and may you have a blessed Easter. And join us next week. We are going to be exploring this dangerous book for some of the life that is being born in that. So we'd love to have you with us as well. So happy Easter, and do some great weaving. We'll see you again soon.
Feeling far away from yourself, like your trembling heart is in a glass on the shelf. You're alone in the dark. Feel like anything could be there, like there's an endless ocean or a bottomless stair. Ooh. When your belly is a stone, can't like a stranger in your home. Terrified of the freedom you feel, can't quite tell what is real. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark, where it all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark, where it all starts. Starts in the dark. Have you found yourself bleached in the sun without a hope of finishing what you've begun? Ooh. Helpless heart and calcified, can't move to keep yourself alive. Ooh. In the stillness of the room, the blankness of the page, it's the lonesome forest house before the blinding light of day. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark, where it all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. you go back to the place you told yourself was a lie, the primordial dark when you close your eyes. Ooh. 'Cause there's a spirit there over the deep, hovering and singing you to sleep. Don't be afraid of the darkness inside, or that there's nowhere left to hide. 'Cause when it overtakes all you've hardened, you find yourself deep in a garden. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Where it all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Where it all starts. Starts in the dark. Hard as it might be with everything I've seen, I close my eyes in peace, knowing there's more than it seems, and I'll say, and I'll say, I'll say, welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts.
Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the
dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. Welcome to the dark. It all starts in the dark.